Some very difficult moments ahead of President Bola Tinubu as he needs to make tough decisions in the coming days. Labor-related matters, cabinet-related matters, and the state of affairs of the nation. We'll be dissecting all of that tonight. But some Southeast federal lawmakers are protesting the number of nominees in President Tinubu's cabinet from the Southeast region. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale in Abuja. Let's give you an update on one story that has been developing and we've been following for you today. Like we heard yesterday from the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Mr. Joe Ajaero, that they will continue consultations with the different sectors and sections of the federal government. And today they've met with members of the federal of the Senate and the leadership of the Senate, that is, Comrade Ajaero says after the meeting that the increase in the cost of petrol without anything on ground to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians is unfortunate. He says during the protest which organized labor took to the National Assembly, the unions took to the National Assembly. The unions presented a document which encapsulates their demands, and it is the belief that the leadership has looked at the document. It further says Nigerians are suffering because of the increase in price of PMS, which is at the center of economic activities, and it affects everyone in the nation. We'll be giving you details and some sound bites from that meeting at the Senate today. Well, there are other informations very crucial to the state of the nation, which we'll be bringing to you tonight. Stick around with me, everyone, because tonight we're going to be hearing from Igbo senators, Southeast senators, their agitation, their grievances about President Tinubu's cabinet formations. What do they want him to do? What are their grievances? We'll be listening to it tonight on the program. And of course, now that we now know for sure that 45 out of the 48 names sent to the National Assembly for confirmation by President Bola Tinubu, who is getting what? Who is going to be the next Minister for Petroleum? Who is going to be the Minister for Agriculture? We've highlighted 15 different portfolios that we think are crucial if President Tinubu has to achieve anything quickly in this country, as he assumes being the president of the country. That we're going to bring to you tonight. Just stick around with me, everyone. We have a loaded show for you today. But first and foremost, let's serve you with some political roundup stories.
President Bola Tinubu has met with the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, at the Aso Villa in Abuja. The WTO DG walked into the villa a few minutes after 3 p.m., accompanied by Professor Ali Pate, one of President Tinubu's ministerial nominees. This is the second time Tinubu and Okonjo-Iweala are meeting since the president assumed office on May 29. The president also inaugurated the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, chaired by Mr. Taiwo Ogedele, a tax and fiscal policy expert. At the event, the president vowed to end Nigeria's over-reliance on borrowing to finance public spending. The committee, which comprises of experts from both the private and public sectors, is responsible for the various aspects of tax law reform, fiscal policy design and coordination, harmonization of taxes and revenue administration. A former desk officer in charge of the Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System (IPIS) at the Federal Character Commission (FCC), Mr. Haruna Kolo, who was accused of collecting monies from people to offer them jobs, has implicated the chairman of the commission, Mrs. Mahida Dankaka, of being the brain behind the job fraud in the commission. He made the submission during the hearing of the House Ad Hoc Committee investigating the alleged job racketeering and the abuse of integrated payroll and personal information system by ministries, departments and agencies.
It's either the staff of the secretariat are not doing well, because how comes you take letter to an agency, the agency rejected. They asked you to take the letter again and the agency collected the letter. Something is missing there. and we'll get to the root of the matter.
A Delta State Ministerial nominee, Ms. Stella Oketete, and former executive director at the Nigerian Export-Import Bank, whom the Senate failed to confirm, has been pushing to clear the air on allegations about her academic credentials. In a series of documents made available to Channels Television, Ms. Oketete, through her lawyers Babatunde Ogala and Co., has written to the different relevant institutions to verify the authenticity of her certificates and degrees. The documents show that Ms. Oketete graduated from Benson Dahosa University in 2007 with a second-class lower division in international studies and diplomacy, and concluded the compulsory National Youth Service Program from Kebbi State in 2009. Other documents made available to us show her professional short course certifications from institutions like Harvard Kennedy School and some others, and a master's degree from Noun University. Ms. Oketete is one of the 3 nominees out of the 48 submitted by President Tinubu to the Senate that have their nomination not confirmed pending security report. And the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the March 18 governorship election, Mr. Dapo Abiodun, has closed his defense at a tribunal after calling 6 witnesses and tendering several documents to prove his case before the 3-man tribunal led by Justice Hamidu Kunaza. Some of the documents tendered by the first defendant included his West African Examination Council certificate, the report of the production of 200,000 units of top-up ATM cards by the PDP governorship candidate Ladi Adebutu, a letter of authority from the petitioner to open a Zenith Bank account from which the top-up cards were preloaded with 10,000 naira each, and a paper showing the sample of the preloaded cards. At the resumed hearing, the counsel to Dapo Abiodun, Wole Olanipeku SAN, sought the permission of the tribunal to tender the documents through the bar. He listed the documents to include reports of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, police investigation report in response in case of bribery, conspiracy under influence of thugs, dated May 12, 2023, an updated police investigation report on a case of bribery, conspiracy, and undue influence dated June 7, 2023. The All Progressives Congress is expected to open its defense on Wednesday, being the 3rd respondent in the petition.
Thank you so much, everyone. There you have it. You've been served with your political roundup stories. Let's get into one of our major stories tonight. Don't forget that tonight we're going to be doing some analysis for you on the ministerial nominees. For the 5 of them that have been confirmed, we've highlighted tonight on Channels Television 15 crucial portfolios that we think are going to be very important if President Tinubu wants to achieve anything. Some of them include finance, trade investment, petroleum, defense, interior, power, aviation, mines and steel, agriculture, communications and digital economy, transportation, justice and the Attorney General Office, and a host of others. And tonight we'll be looking at who could fit the bill in some of these sectors. Plus, all of those persons that have been confirmed, out of them we have at least 3 senior advocates of Nigeria on that list. We have about 4 medical doctors on that list who are going to fit into the different portfolios, and we'll be analyzing all of these issues for you tonight. So stick around with me. Let's take up the matter of the Southeast lawmakers. Yesterday, one of them came forward just after the confirmation process, and it was Senator Tony Nwoye from Anambra State, a member of the Labour Party, who was expressing the grievances of federal lawmakers from the region about the number of nominations from the Southeast region. There are just 5 of them from the different states, 1 from Ebonyi, 1 from Enugu, 1 from Abia, 1 from Anambra, and 1 also coming from Enugu State. So 5 of them, and we have regions like the Southwest and the Northeast, Northwest and the Southwest, for example, having nothing less than 8 or 9. So these are the nominees or the minister designates coming from the Southeast region. Let's now discuss some of these issues. I'm being joined by Senator Tony Nwoye, a former member of the House of Representatives, former governorship candidate in Anambra State, and now a sitting member representing Anambra State in the Senate from Anambra State, Labour Party. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You came up as though there was anything the Senate could do about it, because this is the prerogative of the president. And you think that you were saying that some of your colleagues from the Southeast region are not happy. What exactly are your grievances?
Well, I don't think some of our colleagues from the Southeast, as it concerns the senators, 15 of us from the Southeast, we know every state has 3 senators per issue. We have 5 states. 15 of us are the persons who expressed our reservations. And 15 of us are the sponsors of this motion, which could not see the light of the day because of the intervention of our dear Senate President, which we hold at the highest esteem. Actually, the matter is very simple. Our grievance is very simple. We are saying that let them do to us what has happened to other parts of Nigeria. You know me very well. For the past 7 years, I have not appeared in any television in terms of interview or anything. Not from the time I contested governor in 2017. Have you seen me to appear in any media, being interviewed or anything? I don't play to the gallery. I'm not an ethnic jingoist. I'm not a tribalist. I'm a pan-Nigeria. I believe in Nigeria project. In fact, I have more friends outside Igbo land than even in Igbo land. But what we're saying is very simple. From 1999 to today, let me start from 1999, when President Obasanjo won president of Nigeria. He was declared president. He appointed ministers from 30 states of federation and went ahead to appoint one per each geopolitical zone. That was what made Ubulafo to be appointed. That was what made the Cizero of Eshauke, Bolaige, to be appointed Minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and so on and so forth. Even 2019, remember I was director of youth of President Muhammadu Buhari. After President Muhammadu Buhari appointed every state one person, he still went and gave every geopolitical zone one, making extra 6 in this subject matter. There's a clear-cut provision that says Section 14, subsection 3 of 1999 Constitution, that states very simple, that in doing any appointment or doing anything that has to do at appointment, distribution of anything, you must do it in such a way to promote national unity, command loyalty, and you must not favor any ethnic group or religious group or any group of persons because of unity of the country, and you must observe federal character. Federal character is the word. And remember, from that word, from that provision, Federal Character Commission Act 2004, Laws of Federation, F7, derives its power from that 1999 Constitution, Section 14, Subsection 3. Let me tell you what that Federal Character Commission Act 2004, Laws of Federation states. It states that if you are doing appointments that has to do with states, you must take into account states, take into account of FCT and zone in this subject matter, geopolitical zone. And you must do it, you mentioned minister of state. You must do it in such a way that it will be practicable, as much as practicability, that every person must be represented. That is section 5A, 5B, part 3 of that Federal Character Commission Act, 2004, Laws of Federation. Then section 4B, part 1, said that it is mandatory, and it derives its power from that constitution. We are saying that it is a prerogative of Mr. President. We are very grateful that he even appointed FCT for the first time. It's a kudos to him. And we are very happy, handsome young man. I know I'm a doctor by training. This is the cabinet, the highest number of doctors. I even commended Mr. President yesterday about it. To show it's not about party. I was APC, you know very well. I work very close to him. Very compassionate man, very hardworking man. He came, saw and conquered. He has been aspiring to president of Nigeria. That is Bola Tinubu, our president, GCFR. But the issue is that Northwest has extra 3 ministers, making it 10. They have 7 states, making it 10. Northeast has extra 2 ministers, making it 8 now because they have 6 states. North Central has extra 2 ministers representing the zone, additional 2, making it 8. They have 6 states. Southwest has extra 3 ministers, extra 3. Ogun has 3. Ogun has 3 ministers. So Southwest has extra 3,
making it 9.
Making 9. Southwest has extra 2, making it 8. Southeast has extra 0. Only 5 states. We are saying we are appealing to him. Let him appoint any person he wishes to appoint. It's his prerogative. But that clear-cut provisions of Section 5A, 5B, Part 3, Section 4B, Part 1 of Federal Character Commission Act, Laws of Federation 2004.
We don't know what is going on in the mind of President Tinubu, because the Constitution has given him that prerogative and is giving him the discretion, although giving him some guidelines. Recently, the guidelines, there was an addition to the guidelines which stipulate the period of time that he must be able to transmit the names. Now, the question is, he has not violated any aspect of the Constitution, has he?
But there's a violation now. I just mentioned Section 14.3. I mentioned Section 14.3,
which says
that mention about federal character. And I mentioned the provisions of that Federal Character Commission Act. It derives its power from river.
If you look at that provision, that provision is talking about inclusiveness. Well, it's
and he mentioned
what the word "shall" came behind the point where he said every state shall be represented. And every region.
Yes.
Yeah. So every region represented, every state represented. Every state represented.
No, every state represented.
Every region represented.
No, every region is not represented.
If every state, every region
is different. State is another thing.
Okay, just a moment. If you have 5 from the southeast.
Yes, that is for state. Each state has one.
But those states are from the region.
No.
So I'm just giving you, because legal interpretation is also a bit technical. I am saying that, and I like you to look at it in this manner. The president may be having some political thinking in all of this. Perhaps, look at Northwest, look at Southwest. They gave him more votes. Don't you think that might be in line of his thinking?
Yes, they gave him more votes. We are not quarreling with that. Remember that Obasanjo, that Southwest, he even failed in Southwest. He still gave them their zonal representation. Instead of Esauke, the late strong man of the best memory, he benefited. If you look at ministers who have been appointed from Southeast, 2 or 3 of them might be ministers of state. We're not quarreling with that. Even if he gives us entire, Dave Umahi might be minister of works, senior minister. We're not even quarreling. Even if he gives us minister of state throughout, we're not quarreling. Because we voted for our brother, which we don't have regret about it. Our brother contested. The Yorubas voted their brother. Our brother that contested is qualified, whether I like it or not. I may not be his fan. I may be his fan, I may not be his fan. I was close to Asewaju before now.
But you're a Labour Party member?
Yes, I say I was closer to Asewaju now, yes.
Than you are to Peter Obi?
Yes.
But you are in...
Before I joined the Labour Party.
Okay.
When did I join the Labour Party? I joined the Labour Party.
But you're more of a fan of Asewaju than you are of Peter Obi?
Yes, Peter Obi, yes.
So you are a Tinubu at heart, but Labour Party member?
No, I say I was.
By platform?
I was. I've not spoken to Asewaju since 2021. Yes. 2021, but he's a leader I respect so much, who has worked hard for democracy, who has fought for democracy. I respect him highly. What we're saying is very simple. We did not vote. It's good and fine.
Do you think that perhaps the choice of your region is haunting your region?
How is it haunting our region?
You are the one. I'm asking a question, and you are the one who said. You are the one who said that your people voted your own.
That is why in South. Let me give you, for instance, some of them from Southwest. It's going to give them great ministers. We're not quarreling with that. That was something that they like. That was still like Wale Edun. They're going to have great ministers. We're not quarreling with that. You go to Northwest, Northeast, North Central, they're going to have great ministers. We're not quarreling with that because he's going to compensate people or he want to satisfy people who voted for him. There's no to that, but his prerogative. But that one that has issue of federal character, 5A, 5B, Part 3, 4B, Part 1, that has to do with zone. That's what we're saying. If he brings minister of any minister at all, but let it be that somebody representing South is based on the political zone. That is what we are saying. Even President Muhammadu Buhari, remember, in the history of constitutional democracy or election in Nigeria, the first time a sitting president had more than 6% vote in any place was in Anambra or Southeast. Buhari had the least votes in East in his re-election. He still gave us 1 per zone. He gave 1 and he gave us our 1 based on the political zone. He can appoint anybody.
So President Tinubu has
even the least minister.
So you're saying that
I fear that is an oversight.
Yeah.
I don't think.
You don't think that he has shortchanged?
I don't think it was deliberate. As of now, we have been shortchanged. Yes, there's no truth about it, but I think it's an oversight. Even the Senate president.
You are contending also that there is a constitutional breach here.
Yes, a constitutional breach. Yes, constitutional breach that derives its power. That Federal Character Commission Act derives its power from Section 14, subsection 3 of 1999 Constitution. And our colleagues, even our Senate president even feel that the might be on oversight. And I feel, because Asiwaju I know is a fair leader, compassionate leader. So I believe it's an oversight. I felt that his mind did not get to
So
it.
when you came up yesterday and you wanted to, you raised your hand yesterday, and was it a point of order that you came on?
I wanted to come for point of order. I want to come by constitutional point of order.
Yeah.
Since Friday.
Okay.
But the Senate president, his wisdom, wanted to come by motion of urgent national importance, which I have right by our rules. Rule 41, Order 41, Order 51. I have right to bring motion of urgent national importance. But once I bring it and give notice, I have to move the following day. And I also come by way of privilege, which is Order 10, which gives me...
So when you came up, the response of the Senate president was that...
The response of the Senate...
Don't bring it up now, but we are going to take your message to President
Tinubu. First of all, the Senate president... this is a motion, point of order or motion that could have come since Friday. Because as of Friday, we are ready. And we spoke to different sections of senators from different parts of Nigeria. And they saw reason that this is something that there was an oversight and this anomaly should be corrected. But Senate President, in his wisdom, decided to ask us to allow the thing, let him go and take it up. But we are taxing him and appealing to him. Let him live to expectation.
Do you think that you might have you might want to do this by yourselves?
Want to do by yourself? How?
By going to the president. He's saying that he's going to do that for you. Is it possible that the 15 of you in the Senate representing the Southeast region are likely to go and meet the President Tinubu by yourselves over this matter?
Benga, sorry, Sheun, see, let me tell you. With that, we're lawmakers. We're not appointees of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have to respect him. We're not appointees of Senate President. We're elected by our people.
And that's why I'm asking that maybe you might be thinking of doing the duty by yourself.
No.
Take the message to the president by yourself.
We are not coming by confrontation. We are coming by an appeal. That's why we are coming by emotion. But since the Senate President, in his wisdom, has said this motion, let him go and discuss. We are taxing him now. Put him to tax. Let us see what will come out from what he said that in his own calculation that he believes that the president will listen to him and correct the anomaly. So we are waiting. Remember that Senate has adjourned to September 26th. And remember that anytime from now, senators will be inaugurated and portfolios will be assigned to them.
The ministers, that is.
Yeah, the ministers. So we are saying that they should make haste to correct this anomaly. Because whether I like it or not, our people down here are feeling that we're keeping quiet. I repeat, I'm not playing to the gallery. I've not been coming to media, since 6-7 years. Have you seen me in any media at all? I've been trying to shy away. But this one calls for sober reflection.
You have, that's the other paper there that the one you were referring to, the other paper in which you were going to, which add your motion listed. That's it there on the screen. But you have some very senior lawmakers from your region, the likes of, and who are major chieftains of the APC, the likes of Senator Ojuzo Kalu, Senator Umai, who is a beneficiary now. You have, remind me again, Senator Uzunaso there. Are you likely to have some internal APC negotiation or consideration or some kind of consultations within the APC, sending these senior members of the APC in the Senate from the region to President Tinubu? Is it possible?
That will not work.
Why not?
Ojuzo Kalu has gone on yearly vacation outside the country. Senator Uzunaso did his best that day. Even Senator Umahi, he's an appointee of the Mr. President. He has been screened, confirmed, so he's part of executive now. But they still consented they are part of this motion. They are sponsors, co-sponsors of this motion. Is Unaso who approached the Senate President more than 3 or 4 occasions on this subject matter. The same thing with Senator Baribe. The same thing with the Senator Darlington Wukocha, who happens to be our minority whip, although he's of Labour Party. So we, the lawmakers, are doing our own. But the Senate President has assured us that we should not move the motion. Because I've already started moving the motion.
What is it? Why would you not move the motion?
What is the implication? For reasons best known to him. We don't want to sound confrontation, as I said. We want, I was an activist. I'm still an activist too. But as a lawmaker, I need to comport myself before they say Tinubu is trying to cause problem. Some of them are looking for that opportunity to say, Tinubu is trying to come and do activism in the Senate. I'm not coming to do activism in the Senate, but I'm coming to speak for Nigerian people. That is more important to me, irrespective of tribe or religion. If this injustice is against any zone in Nigeria, I would speak up against it. That is how I do my own thing. Because anything you do, justice has no tribe, it has no religion. Injustice to somebody is an injustice to all. We must be firm.
All right. So you're appealing to the president tonight, and you have made it clear that there is a constitutional breach. But you're appealing to his sensibilities to be able to accommodate more ministers from the South region.
Anybody. He can give them any portfolio he wants.
And you don't care which state?
We don't care who state.
Yeah.
We don't care where the person comes from.
Even if it's one more?
We don't care.
Okay. Just to give you an extra one?
Yes, and I strongly believe that is an oversight. Because I know him as somebody, much I know about him. I interacted with him when I was in APC. We were very close. I know him as somebody who is fair and fair. I don't know about now, but as of that time, I know him. Yeah. So I believe it was an oversight. That's why we are trying to bring it to his attention.
You don't think he has changed?
I don't know.
All right.
I cannot say time will tell.
All right. Senator Tony Nwoye, you're still in court, though, over your mandate.
Yes, I'm in court. That one is in the hands of God.
Okay.
That one is in the hands of God. Between me and my sister, that one is not a problem, it's our internal issue.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Senator Tony Nwoye, representing Anambra State in the Senate, a member of the Labour Party. So you are an obedient too?
I'm obedient. Fully obedient. Fully obedient. But I'm still, just like this Labour, something is mentioned about National Original Doctors that are supposed to meet with, they met today. The Senate graciously invited me and others. But unfortunately, it coincided with a function. I was a keynote speaker as special guest of honor, Nigerian Medical Association, FCT branch, which I had given a commitment more than 3 months ago. So the two events came at the same time. I could not attend, but they're going to brief me the outcome.
But, yeah.
So I'm that life because something must be done.
All right. Thank you so much. And so your presidential candidate is in at the Presidential Election Tribunal, and some of your members are saying that you want to take back your mandate.
That matter is in court. The court has adjourned for judgment. Let us allow court to give judgment.
All right.
Whoever is not satisfied, whichever way it goes, whoever is not satisfied is free to go. Whoever it favors, whether it is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, or P2B, who is our leader, or Atiku Abubakar, Waziri Adamawa, anybody, they can say they're not going to appeal. Whoever is a winner in the lower court, the other person can say he's not going to appeal, or the other person can say, I'll proceed. Is that right?
This is an assumption, and this is my final question to you. This is an assumption, because you go to court, you either win or you lose.
Yes.
If this doesn't go in the way of your principal, Peter Obi, you think he has another shot, maybe in the next 4 years?
It is his prerogative. It is right to say if it doesn't go his way, I want to run 2027. It's not left to me to say.
All right. But is your party in a good shape, Labour Party?
Yes, very good shape. Labour Party is very good shape. Forget about what Lamid is doing. He's in very good shape. I'm telling you, I can show you for that. Yes. Very good shape.
You don't agree with Lamidi, Papa?
I don't want to go into that one because the matter is still in court. My Chumbra is a lawyer. He said, I don't want to go there. So I will not be accused of contempt of court.
So, anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll take a break, and when we come back, I will bring in people with experience, with knowledge and understanding of politics and policies and the issues of governance, and we'll be analyzing what President Tinubu's choices could be. It's going to be a tough next few days for him, and possibility that next Monday, federal cabinet might be inaugurated, and we might be seeing perhaps the very first meeting of Bola Tinubu's led Federal Executive Council. Join us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Welcome back to the program. 3 persons have now not been confirmed. One from Taraba, one from Kaduna, and the other from Delta State. And these three, one of them from Delta, Stella Okotete, has come out to say, look, these are my certificates from all the institutions that I've attended. And she has instructed our lawyers to write to all of these institutions to verify certificates, which is one of those stories on our political roundup earlier. So Babatunde Ogala, the lawyers there are the ones that are writing to the institutions. Of course, the former governor of Kaduna State is also one of them, and the Senate has not confirmed the 3 of them. Now, 45 confirmed. They are no longer nominees. They are now minister designates. Now, what then happens afterwards, you'll be asking in your mind. Now, we've gone through almost 9 days of scrutinizing these persons. Whether or not the Senate did well, there are a lot of punch here and there, or some of knocks here and there for the Senate on what they did and what they did not do. And those of course, who have praised them, that their colleagues in the lower chamber had gone on recess, and some of them enjoying themselves in some islands and, you know, having a good time with their families. But they have decided to stay back and do the national duty, which they have been elected to do. For that, some people have given them some clap. Now, the main business now has now been given to the executive. The names have been transmitted back to the president, those who have been confirmed. What is next is an inauguration of these 45. They will swear an oath of office, oath of allegiance, and they will be properly inaugurated, and their portfolios are going to be allotted to them. Tonight, our 2 gentlemen. One has a huge understanding of governance and how he sat in some of these cabinet meetings. He's a former special advisor to a former vice president. Mr. Laolu Akande joins us here. It's good to have you back, Mr. Akande.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And also our friend here, research, data, and political analyst, Mr. Kalawale Johnson. Thank you so much, Kalawale, for joining us tonight.
Sure, thank you.
Now, the last time we were having this conversation about portfolios, analyzing these ministers, but there are a lot of interesting scenarios playing out right now.
Yeah.
Now we have some of these persons we know now who will be in that cabinet. Festus Keyamo, for example, had a very tough time. We have about at least 3 or 4 senior lawyers in that cabinet, about 4 medical doctors. But there are those who have said there are key roles, and you will agree with me or with these or disagree with me. Well, this is in consultation with some of our analysts. Now, look at the 15 portfolios. Mr. Akande, I'd like you to start the analysis for us. These are some of the portfolios, 15 of them. If President Bola Tinubu will do well, he has to get the right persons in these positions, including finance, trade and investment, petroleum, defense, interior, power, aviation, mines and steel, agriculture, communications and digital economy, transportation and maritime, justice and the Attorney General Office, works and housing, education and health. These are 15. What do you make of them?
Well, I mean, I think that you've done a very good job to highlight these very key ministries, because clearly, you know, the issues that are important to Nigerians, you know, are reflected, you know, in this selection. For instance, look at power. You know, so power is one big area that everybody seems to agree that if we are able to transform that sector, the economy will simply take a flight in the right direction. So, you know, there have been all kinds of speculations about what is going to happen. For instance, there's a lot of buzz that you're now going to have gas, you know, taken out of the petroleum ministry. It's a buzz, you know, it's no confirmation yet. So that you now have a Ministry of Power and Energy, or Ministry of Energy, but essentially trying to bring the issue of gas outside of petroleum to...
Knowing the kind of person Bola Tinubu is, even when he was in Lagos compared to other states, the nomenclatures of some of the ministries in Lagos are totally different.
Yeah.
But we are also hearing that some of these ministries, their titles, their tags, and the nomenclatures might change. Is that right?
I've also heard that, and we've also heard that it's also possible that some of the bigger ministries might also be split. But again, I think it's best to wait for the official confirmation of exactly what it's going to be. But I think to your point, anyone who is trying to take a fresh look at some of the challenges might actually have the option of redesignating and rearranging and restructuring some of these ministries in order to deliver results. And the idea of bringing gas together with power, I think, is something that might actually be helpful.
Interesting. Kalawale, what do you make? Of all these portfolios, which one comes out to you in terms of priority? Security is a major problem in this country. Defense, interior will be very critical and very crucial. I was actually personally, I was surprised when the president, former president, went, and I wasn't quite one of those who are in support of having a different ministry for police affairs. There is a police service commission, there is an IG of police, and I think there is an overkill to have. I mean, that those who have that school of thought that it's an overkill to have a ministry of police affairs. You have a ministry of interior, you have a ministry of defense. But now, looking at security on one hand, issues of developmental issues, health, education, they are there. Issue of infrastructure, works and housing, they are there. But economy, finance, trade and investment, power, they're there. What comes out to you the most in all of these 15?
Let me start from the point you made on the Minister of Police Affairs. Looking at the manifesto of the president now, when he was campaigning, he made mention of the fact that he would like to reform the police and free them from these bodyguard duties and transfer that duties to those duties to the Civil Defense Corps, and that means that they will be the one to start providing security for government installations. So that would tell you that the transition, of those duties to the Civil Defense Corps will require some close monitoring. So that will make the Ministry of Interior very important. So we may not likely have the Ministry of Police Affairs once you have the Interior Ministry. That since you have the Service Commission and all that. But let's look at the entire those you've listed.
15 of them.
Yes. For me, I think the same way we were trying to analyze Buhari from his three key areas: economy, security, anti-corruption. When President Tinubu was campaigning, there were areas he focused on. One of them, he said he was going to lead the fourth industrial revolution in Nigeria. That he would turn the youth, not that, from job seekers to job providers. If he's going to do that, that will require some key ministries, not a single ministry. First, there's no way you can create job when you have when you have insecurity internally. But there's no way you can create those jobs if you've not had, or if you're yet to have, agricultural revolution. There is no way you can drive industry without that. You need the raw materials to come from that. And we have the farm. In those days, in the colonial days, those guys made us the farm. And we were producing the raw materials and they were taking them to Europe to build Europe. So African became their farm. That was how they were able to build their industries. If we want to build their industries there, the same thing must happen. Why is it that those textile industries, those rubber industries, that they are no longer here? Where's the rubber plantation? So he would need to do a lot in the agric sector. So for me, I think the agricultural ministry will be key to development now. Two, if he's going to
drive... What do you see within the list?
Let me not preempt.
No. I mean, this is our own cabinet meeting. And we have the power to talk about, we have the prerogative.
Cabinet has been shifted to Monday anyway.
Yeah. Actually,
Oh, really?
That shows a lot of seriousness. Oh, yes.
That there's a possibility that FEC will not happen
No possibility. Internally, we heard it's been shifted to Monday, and we learned the man said you can only receive political visitors on Thursday. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays are for serious government business. So visitors would only be allowed to come in on Thursdays. That is showing some seriousness. The only issue we have is the size of the cabinet. You can't. I don't think. Of course, people are clamoring for more appointees, but not at a time when the country is not having the resources. We need to run a lean government, not the size. But aside from that, I think he's taking some steps internally to drive.
Because if three of us we have to look at the like a puzzle and like a Scrabble game and pick the jigsaw, now we have to fix them. Definitely we will have, but we don't know. The man who picked them knows where best. But also, as Nigerians, we have a stake to be able to say. I know there are about 4 lawyers, 3 of them there. Yes. There's a Professor Tahir Mama, who was a former DG of law school, who was is an astute law lecturer and a senior advocate of Nigeria. There is another one, Latif Agbemi. There is Festus Kayamo also.
What I'm suspecting is this.
So if you look at Ministry of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, you almost can say.
I think that
we'll have 2 ministries
there are some reasonable calculations that can be made. For instance, I think during the screening, former governor of Kaduna, El Rufai, had indicated that the president wanted him to deal with the issue of power. So I think there is a likelihood that it might be the one that we have.
What do you think about it?
However, there's a problem now that...
Because it's not yet confirmed.
But I'm sure that they can work out on it. And to talk about this knowledge, I think is somebody who has demonstrated, even over the years, the capacity to deal with problems. Now, he does have quite a bit of issues about some of the his controversial statements, but if you are able to separate that, if you're able to remove some of those controversial statements, that he has engrossed himself with, he is somebody that can deliver. And specifically talking about power, I remember that even under the Buhari Shibajo administration, the president set up a power working team that was chaired by the vice president, and Governor Rufai was a key member of that working group. And so clearly is somebody that can deliver on that. I also think if you look at the lawyers that we said, I think we can make a very good estimate.
I almost can say that Latif Agbemi is the next minister of justice.
We can give that out. Besides the fact that he is out of the lot of the 3 or 4, he's clearly the leader in terms of litigation, even in terms of reputation, and somebody that is not as political, not exposed. Somebody that you can think that, okay, people can build credibility.
And he has spoken so much about reforms. Where we've seen a lot of reforms in the justice sector was your former principal, Yemi Osinbajo,
in Lagos.
Who had, Lagos in legal practice in Nigeria, in the public sector, Lagos has always taken the lead. Akja, every other state, federal government even took after Lagos state government's template and all of that.
Virtually all the states.
But if you heard and listened to Latif Agbemi, SAN, who interestingly is from one of the best states in Nigeria, and
I like that.
I don't know why you guys
know your state. That's your state.
You know where? You know his state.
I know.
Google his state. And interestingly, he spoke about reforms of that sector. But again, gentlemen, I see quite a number of young minds in this formation that Bola Tinubu has put forward. You have the likes of Bosun Tijani. He had a torrid time. He had a very tough time. You have the likes of, and it's clear what a Bosun Tijani or a Lola John would be based on their experience, and those are their expertise. Bosun Tijani, I'm almost assuming that he's going to digital economy, and and that's almost
splits the ministry.
Yes.
Communication one, then two.
And that's one area that we can have a lot of employment and a lot of activity going.
Yes, I was going there.
So you see the likes of Better Edu, who is also a young person. Hanatu Musawa, another young person. You see the Olubunmi Tunji Ojo from Ondo State, who's a two-time member of the House of... If you look at the young man's CV, you know that this guy can fit into several areas. Petroleum is being the House chair on NDDC. Digital economy, it can be there. Transportation, it can be there. Tunji Alausa is a medical doctor. Ali Pate is a... Gentlemen, there are young minds in this formation. What comes to your mind the most, Karoli, about these young persons?
What I see is a president that is making deliberate effort to bring the youth into the system. First, in those days, you can't become anything in this, I mean, at this level. They'll probably ask you where you're coming from. So the man is identifying the young brains without retiring the old. And I'm seeing these as a clear opportunity for the youth, not just to bring something different to the table. I think many years ago, I think in Germany, they created a ministry called the Ministry of the Future. And that ministry helped to engineer the future. So these guys, I'm seeing them as individuals that will come with fresh ideas, you know, to drive the country, to drive what the youth actually want. The complaint before has always been that the policies of government for the people somehow, you know, is being cooked up there without, you know,
involvement
without involvement and the input of the stakeholders, the youth, because they look at the demography, look at the population. So I believe that this youth will be able to drive. You've mentioned their names, and we're expecting so much from them. We don't expect these to... See, when you are working under President Tinubu, well, the man we knew in Lagos, I think he's a slave driver. He's going to drive them. Now, you mentioned reform. It depends on who is leading and what he wants. In Lagos State, he said, come, I want who can drive reform in this area. He mentioned the areas he wanted to reform. So he was headhunting those who can drive those specific reforms. So apparently he has also sat down to create those areas he wants to reform. And he has gone out to headhunt these guys. So let's see what they bring on board. Most importantly, I want to see the policy documents and the work plan, because the work plan will contain what you want to do, the time frame, who is going to drive it, you know, the time of when are we going to evaluate? Is it quarterly? All of these will come to play. So irrespective of who he's putting in places, I'm expecting to, I'm waiting for the policy document. That's not the manifesto you did before the election. Now you have the realities. You've seen the figures yourself, so you know what is at stake. Now let's create a work plan for each of these ministries, or create a central work plan that give each of the ministries that will drive your program, you know, the different aspect of it.
I mean, the likes of Wale Edun, Dr. Uzoka, who was a medical doctor, who went into banking from Imo State, for example. I'm looking at finance now. Someone will be able to hold on to it. You know what happened in the days of Okonjo-Iweala? She was the head of the economy. She was a coordinator of the economy. What do you think is going to happen in that respect? Because one of the major issues that we've had in this country in the last few years is lack of coordination in the economy, lack of coordination in security. Do you think that this president has seen those gaps?
Excellent point. Now, so again, we can say that Mr. Wale Edun is going to be the Minister of Finance. I'll be willing to, you know, stick out my neck on that. And the reason
place a bet on it.
I'll be willing to easily say that.
Anyone will do that.
And the reason is not just because he was the finance commissioner when Asiwaju Bola Tinubu was governor in Lagos State, but if you look at his antecedents, most people don't know that he's actually a co-founder of Stanbic and
Stanbic IBTC.
Yes, you know, I mean, so he's a thoroughgoing economist, a very serious gentleman, hands-on, understands the issue, a practitioner, you know. So I think
Wale Edun is not yet 60, is he?
Well, we can check that out.
But it's been around for a while.
It's likely.
So I always imagine that he's almost 70. But
probably in his early 60s.
It was during this credit I imagine, he's got some energy in his veins.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Probably in his early 60s.
Yeah.
But another person to also watch out for is Dr. Pate, Ali Pate.
Oh, yeah.
Now, don't forget that Ali Pate was actually was supposed to take up the job as the CEO of Gavi last week. You know, a $27 billion international agency that deals with vaccination, but he chose to drop that to take this job. So I can also imagine that he will be the Minister of Health. And talking about capacity, I mean, Pate is somebody that...
he's been there before. He's been in the cabinet.
He was Minister of State before, but clearly he's also somebody that understands the issues, you know, in terms of public health, looking at what he has done.
Gentlemen, we need to go now. Let me get your final thought. 30 seconds and 30 seconds. What do you make of the possibility of what we're going to see in the coming days about this cabinet?
Well,
any surprises?
I don't think there will be anything too special. However, I think we should be looking forward to El Rufai coming on board. I mean, that guy is competent. We can leave sentiment apart. Now he's under a boss that is going to, of course, he will condition him and take away his excesses. We need that kind of man on board.
Okay, my final point is that just for public interest too, there are three factors that will influence who gets what portfolio. The job itself, you know, so you're looking at competence, the politics, you know, balancing. But there's a very third important factor that we don't pay attention to, is the balls around the president. There have been several times that situations are determined at the last minute by who has the ears of the president. So these are the three factors to look at. Yeah. The job, the politics, and the balls around the president.
Sorry, if I may add, we need to ensure that the office of the SGF functions properly. That should be coordination. That should be the engine room to drive government progress.
It's actually, you know, I mean, administrative-wise,
evaluation
is that office that coordinates the ministers, and it's supposed to be evaluation and
put in place the KPIs to measure performances across board. You know, quarterly. Let's not have this waiting for the whole year again before you go to the National Assembly. You know, to start giving your performance of last year. No.
Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
What an interesting moment that I have with both of you. Kalawale Johnson, data political analyst, thank you so much. Lalo Akade, thank you to see you. Thanks so much for coming, and it's good to see you with a lovely white beard. Thank you so much. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow again at 7 p.m. It's Joaquim Ale. God bless Nigeria.